All right, so welcome back again. If your first time coming to this channel, remember to hit the like button and go ahead and subscribe. And to all of the loyal subscribers out there, thank you for sticking it out and being around. Appreciate your support and the time you invest in watching the content we provide. Okay, so it's Big Muscle. We're on the hustle, travel, adventure, leather work. Yes, leather work. And you're looking at a leather belt that I made. And I'm gonna go ahead and tell you some stuff about this belt and how I came up with this design and so forth. Okay, so you all know on this channel we do leather work, some travel stuff, and adventurous stuff also. But today we're gonna talk about this belt and the design and so forth, and things I learned about making leather as far as sandals are concerned, wallets, which I'm going to start producing some more wallets, and also belts and stuff like that, and also sneaker painting. We're going to paint some more sneakers as the requests pour in from time to time. Okay, so this belt I made for my cousin in Jamaica. Shout out to Bamboo in Manchester, Jamaica. He requested and told him I'm going to make him a belt, and he should come up with a design or something that he need to be put on the belt. So he came up with the word cadence, and that he got a stencil it to the belt, and then took care of it from there. And then he needed some muscle, like, you know, muscle beside the name cadence that's on the belt. You're looking at it, and I go ahead and drew the design. And then I use flim paper. You can see the flim paper right there. Drew it out over the first design that I put onto the belt. Then flip the flim paper to put it on the opposite side of the word cadence. And that's how I get the exact same design and the opposite side. So that's also something you can learn about making arts and craft, and also making belts and even sandals too. You can use this technique in making sandals, where you could draw a design out, and then you flip it over onto a flim paper, flip it over, and use your pencil or your special molding tool to scribe it onto that belt on the opposite side, like you see I'm doing there. So with this belt, I did learn a lot of things making this leather belt, and what I learned is that there's a lot of different types of leather that you can use to make belt. Now this one is cowhide, and it's very versatile, I could say, using cowhide to make leather belts. Very versatile. It's good for carving and stuff like that. The material is very flexible, and it's not like other types of leather. So I prefer to use this type of leather to make a leather belt, and we're going to get into different types of leather with time. Okay, so after drawing the name, drawing the pattern onto the belt, what I did was use my Dremel stylo plus tool to do the carving, because I'm finding that tool to be extremely convenient as far as saving time and getting the patterns exactly to how I want them. So on the muscles that you're looking at of the arm, as the design on the belt, I use a bigger size bit to carve the actual outer lining of the muscle. And then on the inside of the muscle, where you have those small little veins, I use a smaller drill bit to get those. And the reason for that is, of course, we want the veins to look smaller than the actual arm itself and the outer lining of the arm. The next thing I learned was previous belts that I've made, I didn't use a black leather paint for the outline of the belt. But in this video, I used the black leather paint to outline the muscles, the vein, and the word cadence. Then I painted it in the colors that were requested, right? Which is red, gold, and green, which is a very popular color in the islands and stuff like that, and even in the Western world and parts of South America also. Okay, so the red, gold, and green, I put the gold in the top, green in the middle, and no, the green at the top, gold in the middle, and the red in the bottom of the wording and also the artwork that's onto the belt. So what that I did was I gave it 2 coats. Reason being is that the leather soaks up this leather paint very quickly. Okay, the leather is very absorbent. With water, any type of liquid that you pour onto leather, especially a leather that's not coated or sealed, so to speak, it will soak up water and any type of substance real quick. So when you put the leather paint onto it, it soaks it up. Sometimes you'll see different areas with different variations. You just got to paint it over with that different color paint also. With the same color paint, but give it a second or a third coat, however you need to do to get it even out or to get the look that you want. And it's leather, so it's not a perfect thing as far as absolute directly. This is it. Okay, there can be little areas that are twisted, bent, and stuff like that. So that's leather. That's how it works. I'm learning as I go. So after doing all that carving and painting onto the belt, the next thing I did was measure out the areas I want to put the pattern on. As far as using that tool, it's like a rope twist pattern. So I did it, I would say horizontal, vertical, horizontal, vertical, horizontal, with leaving space between the belt to make it a nice style. And you'll see as the video goes. I won't be talking for this entire video, but I'm just giving you an idea of what's coming up in the video, and also some stuff about the leather belt. All right, so after measuring it with that piece of leather, measured is like 3 spaces out, and I use the tool to decorate those 3 spaces, then overlap it to the edge, and then leave an opening, and then continue on like that. So when you do that, you'll get even spacing with your patterns, so it's even on both sides of the belt. And you do the same thing for the opposite side of the belt, so you can get the pattern running in sequence as far as spacing is concerned. Okay, so after getting the pattern onto the belt with the rope twist pattern, the next thing I did was leave the belt to dry, probably for a day. And when that water, because when you're putting on the pattern, you're going to use water, and you'll see that also in this video. You spray the water onto the belt, then you use the rope twist pattern, beat it with a mallet or whatever you use. Some people use a clamp stamping technique. I use the mallet. Okay, so whatever works for you, you just resort to that. So after doing that, you leave the belt to dry, and the belt dry, the water evaporates. Now the next thing I do was put the stain onto the belt. How do I stain the belt? I stain it on the inside, just 1 coating of stain, and then on this belt I use saddle tan. Now, speaking of stain, I'm learning that there are 2 grades of stain that you can use on leather. Not necessarily belt, but on leather period. There's 2 grades that you could use, or probably more grades that are out there, but there's a professional grade stain, and also there's just whatever grade stain. Okay, that's what I'm learning. So you're going to use the professional grade stain. It leaves less rub off, because the next thing I'm learning with leather is when you make a belt or anything like that, and you stain it, more than likely, it don't matter what color you stain it in, you'll have a rub off with the stain. So if you're wearing white clothes or any light color clothes, you could probably see stain from that belt onto that clothes. So to prevent that, I rub it off with after it's stained and its stain is dried. I use a dry cloth and rub it off, and seen some guys also using a light amount of oil. What type of oil? It could be just oil for leather, and a damp that piece of cloth with oil, and then you wipe that stain on the belt. Wipe it off as much as possible, and that way you can reduce the stain rub off from the leather belt when it's completed. If you're for your customer or you're going to wear it yourself, you want to reduce that, because you don't want to have your belt ready and then you give it to the person you made it for and they don't know that the stain on the belt would rub off onto their clothes. It could ruin their expensive clothes or even their cheap clothes, as long as it's something that's valuable to them. Okay, all right, so after staining the belt, let it sit and dry, because I like that stain to be dried in. And then after it's dry, then I get my colors and I paint the belt, which this belt didn't take a lot of paint. It mostly took a lot of detail work as far as doing those carvings and also doing the paintings. That's mostly what it took. So the detail and the painting hand in hand will take up a bit of time. So after you finish painting the belt, after I finished painted this belt at least, what I did was just let it sit and dry so the paint could soak in, somewhat dry and sturdy onto the belt. And then the next step would be to like burnish the belt, burnish the ends of the belt, and also put some burnishing solution onto the sides of the belt for preserving the leather, and also for smoother run through your belt loops and stuff like that. Okay, and then the next thing that I'm going to start doing is keeping that technique with making the exaggerated belt loops. Okay, so I made a previous belt, and you'll see that video on this channel also with the exaggerated belt loops. I haven't seen it anywhere, and I love it. So it's a technique that I'm going to keep, and it's just I just love the way it sits with the belt. I love the way it holds the belt, especially for bigger belts. If you have an exaggerated belt loop, like you'll see in this video, you'll love that technique or whatnot, as long as it fits in your pants properly and stuff like that. So also the square-ended belts, the square end, I just leave the end square. I don't cut them off, do nothing like that. Okay, just leave it square. So the square end for belts and the exaggerated belt loop, it's something that I'm just going to use as a signature mark for making my belts, right? Because a lot of times I watch other creators, they dress up the belts and doing all this stuff to the end. What about we just leave it as it is? Okay, leave it as it is, and then we're just going to make bigger belt loops to put onto the belt. So with this belt, what I did was sew the belt loop on, and I also sewed the buckle on using thread, which was wax thread. So I'm learning also that the wax thread and sewing the belt on, you can use a rivet, a clamp, screw the belt buckle on, but I like this technique of sewing the belt buckle on. It's just more flexible for the leather, and also more versatile for different ways that you twist or turn your belt. The threading will work much better versus when you screw it in. And there's nothing wrong with screwing it in or using rivets also, but I just prefer to sew it, and you can sew it with a machine or you can hand sew it, however you do it. Now before I sew the belt loop on or sew the belt buckle on, what I did was punch the holes, because this is a very thick leather. It's about, let's see, 2-3 millimeters, 2.5-3 millimeters thick. So you punch it with your leather punch, and then you make those holes. You can expand the holes if you needs be, and you use a needle and a thread, and then you sew it. It's just very easier. And even when you put the thread in, you can also use, if you don't feel like there's enough wax onto that thread, you can put some candle wax. It's very cheap. You can get it at a store or anywhere. You could put some candle wax on those threads to even make them more, preserve them even more. Okay, so that's another thing too. So once I sewed the buckle onto the belt, and also sewed the loop onto the belt, the exaggerated loop onto the belt, the next thing I did was just shine the belt, like clean it off with a piece of clean cotton cloth. Yeah, clean it off, shine it off. Probably use your burnishing tool, a piece of wood or whatnot, and burnish the ends once again, so you have that final product looking spanking new, fresh, ready, and steady. Okay, so that's pretty much it for this belt, and anything else you see in the video. As far as the logo is concerned, a stamped logo, I just stamped it on the inside of the belt. So that's there, and before I stamped it, I used water to wet the leather belt, so you can get that stamp coming out pretty nice. Okay, so that's pretty much it. So if you do have any questions about working with the Dremel Stylo Plus, feel free to leave in the comment section. It's a very versatile tool. You use different bits, and I don't see a lot of people using the Dremel Stylo Plus for making leather or working on leather stuff. After searching on the internet and different websites or whatever, maybe I see a few people. Maybe I ran into 1 or 2 people are using it for different things, but I'm discovering that you can use it to do a lot of leather work. Okay, if you're in the type of leather work that I'm into, which is creating different decorations and style, just something to think outside of the box. Yes, yeah, outside the box leather type work. Okay, so with leather, people, I see creators, they tend to use very dull, at least some creators, not all, very dull and pale colors. So what I do is my technique is try to put life into leather. Yeah, and leather can be styled in many different ways, and I'm learning as I go. It's all a learning process, and just like anything else, the more you do it, the more you'll learn about the leather, the more you learn about different types of leather, different techniques. My technique is bright colors, bright, vibrant colors, and also adding different styles, unusual styles and techniques, whether it be a sandals, whether it be a belt, whether it be a wallet. It doesn't matter if it's a very simple wallet or a complicated wallet. It doesn't matter if it's a simple belt or a complicated belt. The technique that I use is bright colors, vibrant colors, and also adding style, a lot of different styles, and just outside the box type leather work. You know what I'm saying? Yep, unusual stuff that you normally don't see on a leather belt or a sandals. Those are the things I want to go into and start making, because leather is such a great thing to work with. Why? Because it's a forever thing. Once you have a genuine piece of leather, anything, more than likely you're gonna have it for a while. I've had the leather shoes that I've had for 10, 15 years, and they haven't budged up. They're still there, looking brand new, spanking new. So when you work with leather, or if you're using leather to do anything, consider it to be something that you will have for a lifetime. It's not just, yeah, this is a leather and it's going to be ripped apart in 2 weeks, a day, or whatnot. It's a lifetime piece of fashion design, as long as you carry it. And also you can carry your leather by using different leather cleaners, suede cleaners, and whatever stuff like that you care for your leather. Most fabrics come with leather care products or attached to it. With these belts, how you care for them, you use a leather cleaner, and I'm going to show you that in future videos. Leather cleaner you can use to clean your leather and preserve your fashion and your fabric for forever. You know, it's a lasting product, and it's very versatile. And the thing is, you can buy your own leather and make your own products at home. You could do it in your living room, you can do it in your garage, in your attic, you can do it in a basement, in your kitchen. It's all up to you. And the fact is, you will have time to do this. So whether you go to work or you go to school or whatever you do, you know, you get into your craft and you start practicing with leather. First of all, you're gonna make sandals for yourself, you're gonna make belts, you're gonna make tooth purses, you're gonna make handbags, you're gonna make wallets, you're gonna make all these type of stuff. I just focus on the belt, wallet, and sandals, stuff like that for now. But in the future, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be experimenting with different types of things as far as making leather products are concerned. Okay, so that's the benefits of using leather, working with leather, and just doing stuff for you. Because sometimes when you go in a store, you'll never get the thing that you need exactly. But guess what? You can make it on your own if you just go into the store and get a few simple pieces of equipment and tools and stuff like that. And you just watch a few videos on YouTube, whether it's Instagram, TikTok, or whatnot. And you can find out how you can make these things for yourself to make your life easier. How you can make a belt for yourself, whether it's a belt to wear to work, a belt to wear to any special occasion, or just a belt to wear around the house. It's all up to you how you want to make it. Fact is, you can make it over and over again, and you can make it in different styles. Put your favorite cartoons, your favorite movies, your favorite shows, favorite characters you can put onto that product, even if it's a wallet, and just do it the way you choose to do it. Okay, so that's a learning lesson that I had to go through looking for a belt. As a matter of fact, that's how my entire leather journey started. I was looking for a belt that has a lasting, very lasting. Went into different stores, look online. There's nothing I saw that I wanted, so I decided I'm going to make myself a belt, and I'm also going to make over that belt, because when I made that belt, I still have that belt. I was experimenting and making belts, so I made it, and I realized that a lot of people loved it, and I really didn't put any real great craftsmanship into it. So I'm gonna remake it now that I'm getting better at leather, and you guys will be able to see that belt also when I remake it, I'll show you the old one and I'll show you the new one. I'll just change up the designs a little bit. Then I will also just display both so you can see the comparison between then and now and the improvement as far as craftsmanship is concerned with leather. Learning as I go and making things for myself, so I'll never have to go to the store again and purchase leather or buy a belt that I don't really like, but I just got to go with it because I can't make it myself. So I have to learn to make belts for myself. I'm making belts for myself. I'm making belts for other people, and the journey continues. Okay. So once again, thanks to all my loyal subscribers. I appreciate you continued support, and we're going to keep dropping these videos, whether it's traveling somewhere, just some information about some spot somewhere, any type of adventurous stuff. Now we're going to start going out some more and doing different things. Okay, more exciting things that people like. And remember to check me out on TikTok also, Big Muscle Travel on TikTok. On TikTok, it's mostly, they don't put long videos as of now on TikTok, so it's mostly short videos that I have on TikTok. But Big Muscle Travel is on TikTok, so check us out on TikTok. There's a lot of artwork that I post over there. Also, we're on Instagram, so you can check us out on Instagram also. And feel free to subscribe, follow, like the videos, share them, give the information to people who may need it to with help in these areas as far as arts and craft is concerned. All right, thanks again. Big Muscle, we on the hustle. Until next video, peace.